Welcome, beautiful souls, to Bertina's Spiritual Sanctuary, the place where your sacred journey and your everyday life and divine feminism, wisdom come together. I'm your host, Bertina, and today we're going to talk about something that so many of us struggle with, especially as we move into our 40s and beyond. How do we balance it all? I know with myself, trying to balance career, family, relationships, my health, our spiritual callings without burning out or giving up is really hard. We play many roles, such as mother, caregiver to our family, our parents, maybe an entrepreneur, a healer, or someone just trying to begin to reclaim their time, their energy, and their identity because the children maybe are gone. Maybe you've had a career shift. Well, if any of this is true for you, then this conversation is for you. So let's go ahead and light a candle, grab a cup of tea or coffee, and then settle into this time of real talk, rituals, and reflections. So the first thing I want to talk about is something that really is a truth bomb. Balance is not about doing everything equally. Balance is about giving your sacred energy to what matters most in the season that you're in. Many times we're told, well, you just need better balance, like it's some perfect pie chart that we could draw, or that life is a perfect spreadsheet. But for women in their 40s and beyond, we really can't do that because we're holding down demanding jobs, making a midlife career shift, caring for aging parents, while you're also parenting your children, your young adult children, your husband, your partner. You're trying to navigate perimenopause, hot flashes, oh my goodness, chronic fatigue. We also have relationship shifts. You may be still searching for that perfect person. You may be going through a divorce, empty nest syndrome, caretaking roles, all of this. And you're trying to wake up spiritually in a deeper way than ever before. And this isn't something that fits into like a color coded little calendar. I know we love all of our little colored pencils with the calendars of what to do, but yet we start doing those and then we get overwhelmed. And the thing is, though, you're not doing it wrong. You just are living a real, full, and sacred life. So many times we are taught to strive for balance as a constant, but life doesn't always work that way. Nature doesn't bloom all the time. One of the things that I've learned over the years is that there's a time for growth, a time for full expression, a time to release things that you don't want to do anymore, and a time to rest. So ask yourself, what season of life are you in right now? Now, this doesn't necessarily have to correspond with the season that the world is in. It's the season of your life. So, is it spring where something new is beginning? Is it summer where you're in full bloom, high energy, you're expanding everything? Is it autumn where you're shedding things that you've tried, maybe you didn't like, maybe you've fulfilled these, you're letting it go, you're transitioning, you're reevaluating things? Or is it winter where you're just trying to rest, retreat, heal for a little bit? So I want you to take out your journal or just kind of pause and reflect on a few of these questions. I am going to ask you 3 questions and then just give you a chance to jot some of these answers down. If you would like to share them in the comments, please feel free to. So think about this. What is taking the most energy in your life right now? What is taking the most energy in your life right now? Now, this doesn't mean it's a negative, like, oh, I spent all my time doing this, but what are you really focused on right now? Number 2, what is bringing you the most joy right now? This could be something simple as just sitting out on the porch and enjoying the summer or whatever season you're in. So what is bringing you the most joy right now? And 3, what feels like an obligation that's no longer aligned to what you wish? What sounds like an obligation that's no longer aligned? Okay. So I want you to write there for a little bit and come back each day or each phase or maybe a week and look over those, answer those questions again. But one of the things I do want you to do is I'm going to give you a permission slip to prioritize what's sacred because you can't do everything. So you have to really choose what matters most. So here's kind of a 3 sacred priorities model. Number 1, let's think about your sacred self, your mind, body, spirit, rest, and joy. Taking care of yourself. Number 2, your sacred relationships, those who uplift, support, or truly need you. Those that are there for you and that need you and that you are there for them. It's equal sharing. Number 3, your sacred work. What aligns with your soul or sustains your life? What aligns with your soul or sustains your life? If something doesn't fall into one of these categories or it's draining you more than giving, it's time maybe to let it go. Maybe say no, delegate it to someone else, delay it, or just delete it. Now I want you to draw a large circle in your journal. Divide it into 3 sections: self, relationships, and work. Now, inside of each of those slices, write down 2 things that you think is most important right now in this season. Not forever, but just this month or this week. And just keep it realistic. So 3 slices of the pie of this circle: self, relationships, and work. What are 2 things that you feel like is most important right now in this season for each of those sections? Now we're going to talk about balance. What if balance isn't multitasking, but being fully present to what's in front of you? When you're with your partner or your child, you put your phone away. That's one of the things that I've been trying to do so much more. When you're creating a spiritual offering, make it sacred. Really meditate with it, make it special. When you're resting, really rest and feel guilt free. You may want to say to yourself, I'm allowed to give myself fully to what's in front of me, and I'm allowed to shift when life calls me elsewhere. Now, those are some wonderful ways of shifting your balance and really looking at things. So, maybe a few things that you can do to carry this into your day is think about your sacred 3 list. Look at it daily. What is one thing for myself that I can do today? What is one thing for someone that I love? And what is one thing for my soul work or my business? Sundays, I love to rest and reset. It's like I plan my whole week out. So, what I like to do is light a candle, review the week ahead, and choose one area to focus on that week and let the rest be flexible. For example, next week I have my job that I have to really focus on. The week after that, it's my mother I get to go visit with. I will do other things. I'll call my mother daily or I'll do something with work while I'm at my mom's, but it's not going to be the priority. It will happen if it happens. Maybe do a little mini retreat. I have an area in this office where I have a Thai yoga mattress and my big fuzzy blanket and my meditation pillows and my journals and everything. And sometimes I just come in here and sit. There's no computer screens. I have my cards around me. I have a journal. And then sometimes I just ask, what do I need to love right now? What do I need to do to rest and relax? And one of the things I think about is not striving for balance, but striving for devotion to what is sacred. Let life shift. This is the hard thing, letting go of it. Let life shift. Let your heart guide your calendar and just move through and realize that you're doing better than what you think. I want to give you a couple of activities while I have you here to kind of help create a sacred structure in your life. Um, I call it morning anchoring, where you wake up 30 minutes before anybody else, if it's possible. If you have little kids, it's hard. Light a candle, pull a card, maybe journal, meditate for just a few minutes. Whatever I'm called to do, I don't go, oh, I'm going to meditate and then I'm going to journal and then I'm going to pull a card and then I'm going to journal. It's whatever I feel like at that time. I do some self Reiki, I cleanse my energy. Let go of the dreams and the energy I had overnight. It's just like a fresh morning bath, except for it's an energetic bath. On Sundays, I tend to structure my week with different little sacred categories. A lot of people go, how do you do so much? You must never rest. Trust me, I'm in bed, I'm relaxing. I stop about 8 o'clock at night and I just relax. Sometimes it's even 7. Heck, I've even done it at 6 o'clock back of it. I just hit the couch because my body needs it sometimes. And that's my one evening for me. A bath, a book, blanket, TV, junk TV sometimes, just taking time. I do one day for my business, marketing, teaching, creating, doing all of that. And then I have time with my husband where we we do things. It's more quality over quantity. We may just get in the vehicle like we're thinking about tonight and just drive. And just having him sit next to me and I don't know, just holding his hand while he's driving, leaning on him, my mind goes peaceful. It is one of the most meditative places that I can be. He doesn't realize that when I'm with him, I don't think. I've been a alpha female, a type A female for so long that it has taken me a while to really let go of that, even at work, let go of control, know that I can't do everything, know that everything's not going to be perfect. I'm not everyone's cup of tea and everyone's not going to like me. But to remember to be kind and compassionate, more kind and compassionate than I ever have. I was always raised stern and that things have to be rough and tough and that's been something that I've had to let go of sometime. And so just being able to be at peace and smile, it's one of the most important things to put into your week. And then I am trying to do this better because I will do this with you all, but sometimes I neglect it, is really doing a spiritual deep dive, spending a day for rituals or altar work. You can walk in nature if you wish. You can even use a planner for this. If you're a planner person, I really am. I love my planners, but I don't live by them. I will make them and then I will go back at the end and do my to-do list, but I really follow my heart with what I want to do and let it be sacred and not stressful. I will say that since I've been on this path, if any of you all know me, I am not as stressed as I used to be. I am happier, I'm more relaxed, I'm not angry, I'm not stressed. I'm just a whole different person. And one of the things is when you begin to embody the mature divine feminine, kind of after you hit your 40s and beyond, something ancient begins to awaken in you. You're not just aging or ascending into a new archetype, or you're just no longer the maiden. You're no longer driven by proving yourself or pleasing or performing. I don't care. I used to want to be the best. Used to want to win the awards, the most, the highest. Um, See, I can't even think of it now. The bonuses, getting the most bonuses and things like that. And I don't care anymore. As long as I have money to pay my bills and to buy a couple things that I want, get my nails done, that probably is the thing that I like to do the best. I'm okay. I have been stepping into my power since COVID of being a priestess. And people always ask me what it is to be a priestess. And a priestess is, well, I have a free class on my website. If you go to bertina.org, you can click on what is a priestess, and it will tell you all about it because I spend a long time talking about it there. But it really is connecting to my intuition, connecting spiritually, being intentional in everything I do, not be on autopilot and let what the world tells me I usually have to do. I am more discerning. I center my power. I let go of anger. Now I will say I had to have some medication for a little bit to help let go of the anger, some therapy, some things like that, but that's okay. I am where I used to be when I was younger, when I was a teenager. I think that was the happiest time I ever was. And and it isn't because I was young or whatever. It was because I took things at how they were and I appreciated things. And I trust my intuition. I went with what was connected with me, and I love myself. And that's kind of where I am getting back now. Sometimes we have the power of a queen where we are very sovereign. We have a lot of power, but it isn't like power, you have to do what I say. It is just the power of bringing people into us, the power of people, of having people drawn to us and us helping. And that goes into the wise woman. We're really rooted. We go through our cycles. We are ourselves, and we're not going to apologize. So this is your season of embodiment, but what does that really mean? Well, it's hard. Embodiment means saying no with grace. Not every invitation is aligned with what you want, and not every opportunity is a sacred yes. When you say no to what drains you, say yes to your truth. You don't owe explanations, and that's one of the hardest things for me because I always felt like I had to explain so I wouldn't hurt people's feelings or they wouldn't think that I was lazy. That was one thing I didn't like. And if anyone knows me, I'm not lazy, but I always had this thing of I have to explain to people. But you simply just owe yourself peace. And one of the things, an affirmation that you can use here is just saying, my no is sacred. My boundaries are a blessing. And, just trust your cycles because your energy no longer follows that 24/7 production model that we had when we were in our 20s. And that's not a failure. We live that life. We shouldn't look back and go, oh, I was horrible for doing this or that. Well, what have you learned? What are you going to change? What was meant for that time? What was needed for that time? I mean, in college, it was so fast paced now. I partied a little bit too much, I'm not going to lie. Um, but it was really fast paced. It was 24 hours a day. Can I do that now? No. Can I do it because my body doesn't want me to? That's what I can say, but I feel like it's more wisdom because I am trying to sync myself with the seasons, the moon phases, with how I feel, being able to go, you know what? I don't have to go out with someone and because they want me to and then feel guilty forever if I don't go out or go out because of guilt. If I'm tired, I'm tired. If I want to rest, I want to rest. I'm being mindful with things. So, looking at like the moon phases, the new moon or the inner winter type phase, we're really visioning and resting. And the waxing moon or the inner spring, we're planning and creating. When the full moon comes or the inner summer, we are launching new things. We're sharing stuff. I know I am very energetic when the full moon comes. I absolutely love it. And then the waning moon is your inner autumn and it's reflecting, releasing. So ask yourself, what one of those phases are you in today? How can I honor it? Okay. Now let's go back to talk a little bit about what I was mentioning a minute ago about people pleasing, owing people things. Most of us were raised to be nice, helpful, and accommodating to the point of even self abandonment, to even giving up things for ourselves. And I think that's part of what my anger was as I got older, is because I always did things to please people, and it was never enough. And then they would abandon me. And then I didn't get things that I needed because of it. And I actually hurt myself, hurt those I love many times. And I'm just going to say no more. The mature feminine in me says no. I'm not going to shrink. I'm not going to conform. And I'm not going to exhaust myself keeping everybody happy. I'm going to be nicer than what I have been the last few decades. I'm going to be more compassionate. I'm going to be more understanding, but I'm also going to be more empowering to others, including me. We're here to live as our fullest expression. And that also means sometimes allowing people to walk beside of us, not holding their hand and pulling them with us and using our energy, having them walk with us. And that's part of our magic. It's we really need to claim our magic, our gifts. It can be teaching or healing or creating or leading or nurturing or just being that lighthouse that I was talking about. We need to stop doubting and embody this. And instead of trying to save everyone, because we have a tendency to want to save people or abandon them when they aren't savable and aren't up to our level of what we think they should be, it's time for us just to look at our gifts. Now, healing, teaching, creating, all of that is just something that's really, really one of my favorites. I love to teach. You all know that. I love creating lesson plans. People are like, oh, I can't draw, I can't sing, I can't make music. Well, you can create something. You can create a beautiful cake or a beautiful dinner. I have a friend who loves to cook, and that is what makes her happy. Leading. Leading doesn't mean you have to stand in front of someone and talk a certain way and be a certain way. Leading is by actions. Nurturing is another way, as we said, and just letting people come to you. So, what is the sacred medicine that you bring to others without even trying? What is something that you provide to others that is naturally you? So many times we try to be like other people. I would like to be like her. I've said that. I'd like to be like this person. Well, what it is that I respect the qualities that I see in that person, maybe the hard work, the determination, the nurturing. And it isn't that I want to necessarily be her. That's what we have to pull back. But how can I embody? How can she teach me? How can she empower me to help be the part of me, the empowered me, or maybe the more nurturing me? And not be like her, but be like me and add some nice qualities because kindness and these qualities are what we expand. That's the sacred medicine. Now, if you know me, you know I love looking at goddess archetypes. And I'm going to give you three to embody, to look at, and just take a few moments to think about this. Remember, you're not worshiping them, they're just learning. You're learning a little bit about each one of them. The first one was Hestia from the Greek pantheon. She's the goddess of the heart. And what I thought was pretty cool with her is that they say that she has a sacred flame within, which means that she has her inner temple. And I absolutely love the idea of having an inner temple. She doesn't need outside recognition, which is what I've got to work on. And she tends the sacred flame of her own center. So, when we hit this age, you may think about, okay, I want to do a deep pull to simplify things. Maybe pull inward, not be the center of attention. And then priority peace over popularity. And that is definitely where I am. I'm the fire that warms my own soul. That's an affirmation that I like to say. I don't need the outside. I appreciate the outside, and it isn't something negative, but I am tending to my own flame. People don't have to understand me. Now, Sekhmet is one of the Egyptian goddesses from the Egyptian pantheon, where she's a lioness, a goddess of fierce compassion. And I always think about Bast and her cat face. And I learned recently that originally she was a bigger cat rather than the cat that we see in Sekhmet is the lioness. And she's the protector, and she transforms. She never apologizes for her strength. And when she's the one that, when you're tired of being polite or you feel dismissed or unseen, this is who you call on, because she puts out energetic boundaries, um, and things like that. So I really, really like her. I feel like that you can reclaim your power through her. Um, I feel like I'm going to say this wrong. Onwe is the goddess, the Celtic goddess of sovereignty, and she's also considered a fairy queen. And she governs self-worth and joy and boundaries. And she asks, where have you handed our power away? Your joy, your freedom, any of that. She reminds us that we don't need permission to shine, to take up space, or to become sovereign. So something that you may want to do is to set and play some music and dance, not for fitness, not for performance, but just for yourself. Reclaim your body as your holiness. Maybe look into the mirror, stand tall, and say, I'm not here to be consumed. I'm here to be a light. I'm a priestess. I'm a queen. I'm a wise woman. I'm becoming more of who I am, not less. Take in a deep breath and feel it in your bones. You're not fading. You are rising. You can also light a candle and write a letter to one of the goddesses or even to yourself and ask, how can I embody the energy that I want this week? Pull a card, create an altar with the symbol that represents it, and just as you walk by each day, look at it, think about it. So at 40, you're not invisible, you're undeniable. You carry the wisdom of your past, the power of your present, and the sacred blueprint for others to follow. You're the living embodiment of the divine feminine in her pride, and we need in her prime, and we need to let her rise. Remember, for the self-care, do self-care without guilt. If you're a woman over 40, you've been conditioned to serve since birth, to be the helper, the fixer, the caregiver, the emotional anchor, the last one to eat, the last one to rest. And somewhere along the way, you've internalized this belief that rest is lazy, that pleasure is indulgent, and self-care is selfish. And this is something that I struggle with every day. But let's be clear, self-care is not selfish, it is sacred. So what you have to realize is that you can't be a present partner, a loving mother, a spiritual leader, if your well is dry. At this age, at this stage of our life, your body and soul require deeper care. We have hormonal changes. We have emotional burnout that from years of emotional labor. We have a spiritual awakening that demands more stillness and solitude and intention. So let me say this really clear. Your self-care is part of your priestess path. It's not a side quest, it's the foundation. So take those sacred baths, walk the meditations, look at the moon rhythms, look and see how you can dance with the moons, do body blessings, reclaim all of your body. Thank your legs for carrying you, thank your belly for holding life and wisdom. Go through and think about how you can release guilt. I'm worthy of rest, joy, and ease. I release guilt and receive grace. So you can't pour from an empty chalice. You have to fill yours first, and you have to let it overflow sometimes, because it overflows your legacy. Self-care isn't what you do after everything else is done. It's what makes everything else possible. You're the temple. Treat it like it. Go through it. Practice the phases. Look at the seasons. Create an altar for who you are. Think about who you were. Bless the woman that you were and move forward. Now place your hand on your heart and say, I honor all the parts of me, the mother, the mystic, the mentor, the maiden I once was, and the crone I'm becoming. I trust my rhythms. I protect my time. I serve from a full cup. I'm not behind. I'm right on time. My life is sacred, and so am I. If this episode resonated with you, please invite people to visit my website, bertina.org. It's BERTENA.org. There's a lot of spiritual classes. There's some free meditations there. And it is a place for women who are walking their priestess path to meet. You can sign up for my newsletter there for guided rituals and meditations. And if you really, really like this, you can subscribe to this podcast on Spotify or wherever you are and share it with another woman who needs this message. Realize that you're not alone, you're not too late, and you're absolutely powerful. Until next time, stay sacred, stay sovereign, and stay shining.